Hey guys, in today's video, let's look at how we can unmerge Excel cells and duplicate the data over the merged area. So it would turn something like this. As you can see, we have these cells here are merged, and then we have these two big studies that are merged, and turn it into something like this. And why we want to do that is oftentimes you might have header rows that are merged, and if you were to process the data that's below and you need to say do a comparison for the values on top in the header rows, you'd find that only the first cell value contains the actual value of, say, study 1. The other cells like D1 for example would be blank. So that's not very good for comparison. And it's, I think, easier to unmerge and duplicate the data than to test for the first cell and then finding the value from there. Okay, so let's get to it. So open up the VBA editor, and let's define a sub, call it sub unmerge. And then let's get our declarations out of the way. So I'll declare a workbook wb and set wb to this workbook. And then I'll declare a worksheet as well, ws, and set the worksheet to wb.Sheets, and then we want sheet 1. That's where our example is. Okay, so to do this, we're going to do a loop over all the cells in the range. So let's define dim cell as range, and then our join cells. Let's call it join cells. Dim join cells as range. Okay, so now let's loop over the worksheet. So in this case, it's a clearly defined header row from cell 11, which is A1, to cell 210, which is J2. So let's do that. So for each cell in ws.Range, in our worksheets range, and then here we'll put cells 11 to cells 210. And let's just close that. So put the next. Then so if cell dot merge cells, then what we want to do is we want to set our join cells equal to cell dot the merge area, and then we want to unmerge it, so cell dot merge cells, we want to set it to false, and then we want to set everything in the merge area, so join cells dot value will be equal to the value of cell.value, and we can close it out. Okay, so that's all. So if you look at the code, what it's doing is we've defined two values as cell and join cells. They're two ranges. So for each cell in the range that you specify in your worksheet of, in this case, our header row. What we're doing is, if the cell is a merge cell, so cell.MergeCells, we're then going to set the join cell area as the cell.MergeArea. So one thing to take note is the difference between cells and cell. So this cells here is part of Excel. It's a worksheet object that you can define, just like range. Whereas this cell here is a range that we have defined. So we could easily name this cell as C if you want to avoid any confusion. So after we've set the merge area, we then want to unmerge the cell. So we'll say cell.MergeCells equals false. And then after that, we want to replicate the data. And to do that, we'll set joinedCells.Value to cell.Value. Okay, so let's run this. And you will see now that our worksheet, the header row, has been unmerged, and the data has been duplicated. And you can see that it works across rows and the columns as well. Okay, so I hope you found this useful, and if you have any comments, questions, do drop them down in the comments below. I'll definitely look at them and get back to you as soon as possible.